closing down in just a couple of minutes. Let's talk a little bit about what we need to do less of. There are many things, but these are some very powerful ones that I have here. What is it that we can do less of in order to have life resolutions for an awesome marriage? Things that we can do. I see people back there smiling already. Yeah, you're resonating. Something is resonating up in this area, right? Yeah, it's resonating. Do less television. Go with me in your mind's eye. You come home, you with your mate. Y'all go in the living room, y'all go in the den. Wherever you got that big screen plasma, wherever you got that big TV, you go in there. The time you go in there, most of the time, one of the first things you grab is the remote. Most of the time. And let me know if I'm not telling the truth. You grab the remote, you turn on the TV. What if? Can you do this? I'm challenging you. Can you do this? Go in the living room, don't touch the remote. Now, ain't nobody gonna get the shakes, is it? Go in the living room, don't touch the remote, sit next to each other and talk. Have you ever tried that? Some people doing like this, some people doing like this. Have you ever really tried it? Listen, if you're not used to doing that, that ain't that easy. Y'all better hear what I'm saying. If you're not used to doing that, and for years, television has been the thing. Television, listen, let me hear you. Television is nothing more than a distraction. Y'all hear what I'm saying now? Television is nothing more than a distraction. Distractions can be good, but also distractions can be bad. It's how you handle them. Do you do it in moderation? The television, William Shakespeare said that the eyes are the windows to the soul. That's what he said. That's a quote. The eyes are the windows to the soul. Okay, if your eyes are the windows to the soul, what is your soul receiving that you're allowing your eyes to see? Listen to me. What is going on the inside of you that you are allowing your eyes to penetrate, to see? Television is not a bad thing when it's done in moderation, but when television is used as a distractor or a defactor, then it becomes a problem. If you cannot go in your living room without turning on the TV, or in your den without turning on the TV, and y'all just sit next to each other. How was your day?
It was wonderful. How was yours?
And you begin to dialogue. Hey, how are things going? And you begin to talk. You're ministering to each other through conversation, and it's good. I'm talking about, or is it such that you don't turn on the TV, you're sitting next to each other, but it's awkward. It's awkward. Y'all hear me? I'm telling the truth. I'm speaking the truth. It's awkward. It's like, almost like you don't even know each other. You're uncomfortable. You're fidgety. There's no peace in it. Y'all better hear me. This right here, if not done in moderation, all it does is steal from this right here. Nothing wrong with watching Alabama beat up on, who was that they just beat up on? Georgia. Nothing wrong with that. Watching different things, watching different movies. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when it becomes excessive. You can't sit with your mate and have a good conversation and it be interesting. Y'all remember when y'all first met? You hang up. No, you hang up. You hang up. You sit next to each other and just conversation. I mean, it's just going, it's just good. Before you look around, it's like 2 in the morning and you're still talking. What happened to that? What's going on with that? Resolve. To resolve means to commit to. You commit to less television and more of each other. Talking to each other. We ain't gonna turn on the TV. I said to Monica earlier today, I said, listen, every time we get in the car, do we turn on the radio? Before you can even crank up the car, do you normally be trying to turn on the radio? Every time we go somewhere together, do we turn on the radio? Every time we come in the house, the first thing we want to do is hit the TV. Why is that? Why is that? Once again, nothing wrong with TV, but when it becomes to the point where it detracts and take away from quality time with your mate, You get to know more about people on Empire and Scandal than you do your wife and your husband. Now, ask somebody about what's going on with Cookie. I bet you. Let me tell you what just happened. You know what? 30 minutes into the show. Let me tell you what's going on. 30 minutes into the show. Because the concentration is on that. If the concentration is more on each other, the quality of time, you'll find yourself less and less wanting to do this. Not knocking that, but it has to be done in moderation. TV is very time consuming. TV is very time consuming. Think about this. When we work out, when we're on the treadmill, when we're doing things in the weight room, a lot of times our focus, we watching a television show. And before you know it, our 30 minutes done went by. You done 30 minutes on the treadmill. You done an hour on the treadmill. You were distracted. You were distracted by the television because it consumed a block or a lot of time in that moment. In that moment, it consumed 30 minutes. It consumed an hour. So the working out didn't seem that bad because I was really focused on what was on the television.
That's right.
So it's a distractor when it's in excess. When it's in excess. Yeah, I went way past my notes in that, but so I'm any questions or comments on this? I really, if y'all just let me just at least get to this one. Let me just get to this one, then I'm gonna shut it down. We'll talk about that later. I really want to get to this one. Any comments or questions on less television? Here we go. Y'all scared now. Here we go. Less social media. If you allow it, it can waste valuable time. If it pulls from your marriage, consider deactivating. If it pulls from your marriage, consider deactivating. If one person perceives it to be a problem, then it is a problem. If one person in the marriage perceives it to be a problem, then it is a problem. It becomes unhealthy. Social media, whether that's Twitter, whether that's Facebook, I don't knock those things. I have nothing against those things. But when those things replace this right here with your mate, it's an issue then. But you got to recognize it. A lot of times the person that's really, really into this, sometimes it will escape them that you just spent 3 hours on social media. One person in the relationship might be like telling the other person, you just spent 2 hours on social media. Have you ever, don't raise your hand, have you ever forgot to cook or wash clothes because you was on social media? Have you ever forgot to do something very important in the household because of social media? This can be very, very addictive. Very, very addictive. Now, if both people are on social media, about the same length of time, ain't nobody spending no quality time with nobody there. How is it that now I just talked about TV. That's a double whammy. You can have the TV on and on social media at the same time. On social media at the same time. And the person that's not really into social media, if there's somebody in the relationship that's not really into social media, that person will begin to feel lonely, will begin to feel neglected. Because every time you look up, you're on social media. Boy, I'm stirring up some stuff up in here right now. You're on social media. But listen, anything that you perceive in your relationship that pulls away from these things here, especially this here, you got to deal with it. Now, let's say me and Monica. Let's say Monica is a social media guru. She just really likes it. She loves Facebook, loves Twitter, and all the other Snapchat, whatever all the other stuff is. She really, really into it. She may not even perceive it to be a problem. But because I perceive it to be a problem, we need to address it. We need to talk about it because I perceive it to be an issue. And as long as I'm perceiving it to be an issue, we got a problem. Yes.
That's right.
Is it a problem if the person that really likes social media is doing it when they're If I'm at work and I'm chilling on Facebook, he's at work,
Okay.
how is that a problem?
I don't think that is a problem. I don't, but does your man think it's a problem though?
Okay.
I don't think that's a problem. You're not taking away from us.
Quality time.
Yeah,
We're
no.
not there together.
Exactly.
Okay, I've heard that, no, it's not. It's
Right.
I've heard that.
Right. Now for me, no. Maybe for somebody else, it may be an issue. But let me say this. Sometimes people that's not really into Facebook, they may have a Facebook account or may have different social media accounts, but they're not as good as the other mate in that. Sometimes one mate can perceive the other mate on social media, but really they're not.
Yeah.
The account is open, but that don't mean that they're actually on it.
That's right.
And sometimes it's difficult to get
That's
the
right.
person to understand that's not really into it like you. Just because you see what is it, like a little green dot or something that says, okay, you're on Facebook, you could be working your phone to be way over here and you could be doing something else. But to the person that's not as savvy as you, they may think that, hey, you on Facebook all day and you don't be doing that. You ain't working out. But that's when you got to talk to each other.
Right.
Listen, if I got an issue about Monica on social media or always watching, well, I know that ain't gonna be no issue. That ain't gonna be no issue right there. But then right here, if I got an issue with this, you owe me enough respect and common courtesy to talk to me about it. Because I would do it for you. I would do it for you. If there's anything I'm doing that you feel is taking away from us, you ain't paying attention. If anything I'm doing that you feel is taking away, why you looking like that?
No.
Anything I'm doing is taken away from us, I need to know about it and I need to address it.
That's right.
I need to address it, and vice versa. So if this is an issue in relationships, but just because the one that is really, really into it a little bit more than the other one feel like it's really not an issue, that's not right. That's not right. You have to hear that person out, and you have to listen to that person, because that person is saying what you're doing is taking away from us in this, and it's affecting me. We need to talk about that.
That's right.
And I say right here, standing here in abundant life, anything that she feels like that's taken away from us, I'm cutting it down. I'm gonna cut it out. It's just that simple. Just that simple. But it's gotta be a two-way street.
That's right.
Questions, comments. Ooh, got a little hot. Questions, comments, anything. Anybody got that to say? Y'all gonna have a lot to say when y'all get in them calls though.
I was gonna say, you said social media.
Mm.
I do a lot of stuff with my phone. My husband over here pointing stuff at me. What are you doing something with my phone? But I think sometimes he get confused with social media. I'm not on social media. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm editing pictures. I'm doing stuff on the Facebook page. Well, a Facebook page is getting stuff together. I consider that work, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Why you defending yourself?
I'm not
Ain't
defending
nobody
myself
attacking
because
you.
you said somebody said.
I said,
But I'm just saying, but
that way. You
no,
got
I'm
somebody
just
like
saying.
He kept saying, listen. I
No,
said,
I just want to get it clear. It's not all social media. If
It's
you got a
work.
problem with me with
I
social
ain't
media.
saying that. Defending yourself.
I feel like my baby.
Yeah. And I do apologize for the distraction. Our son is a little stranded, but
Oh, is he?
he's working it
Oh.
out because we didn't win over.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
you
right.
forgot he had a
He had a
game.
game that we supposed to be picking him
He
up.
like,
I had-
Mama, where y'all at? I'm like, oh.
I ain't forgot. But anything else? Anything? But did you have a question, Ms. Vanna?
No, I just wanted to get the right social media and working. You know, you could be working on your
Right.
emails or checking your stuff and different stuff like
Right,
that.
and but I will also say this to just kind of piggyback on what you're saying, Ms. Vanna. Timing is everything. Timing means a lot. You could be doing something that may be job worthy, maybe something that's very productive for the family, but hubby feeling some kind of way in that moment. It's 8 p.m. It's a Friday night.
Will you listen to this man?
It's 8 p.m. It's a Friday night. He done already text you earlier talking about I can't wait till you get home. I can't wait till you see you. All of those you got to pay attention. That's saying something. So when you get home, there's no expectancy of bringing work home and working on the phone, doing different things on the phone, because he basically just said a couple of hours ago, hey, when you get home. So timing. A lot of times we have to look at the timing of things, because Monica and I have had issues sometimes with timing. I just tell on myself, I don't care. Yeah. Issues with timing.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you doing this right now? What the world are you doing? You know, timing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions before we close out?
You want to go ahead and just, those two were going to take a while, or?
No, if y'all okay, I'll knock out these next two right quick. Y'all all right? Okay. He got right. He good.
I think he's straight. I think he's just about straight now.
Busyness. Now we talking about now doing less of certain things. We just talked about social media. Busyness. I know. Sometimes, and that's kind of what Ms. Vanna was just talking about. Busyness. Of course, you have to do certain things in order to keep your household afloat. I get that. But sometimes people don't know how to say no to things.
That's right.
Sometimes, okay, I'm getting a lot of. Sometimes people have a hard time saying, you know, my plate is full right now. I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm sorry. If I could do it, I would do it. It's a way to say no, a polite way to say no. But sometimes people will feel obligated to say yes to everything. Yeah, let me do this. You need me to pave your driveway and paint your house? I can do it this upcoming Saturday. You need me to pull your engine out your car? I can do it this upcoming Sunday after church. You saying yes to everything. Now, let me say this. This is real good. I need to write it down, but I ain't got time. Check this out. Ladies, don't give your husband your leftovers. Y'all, hear me now. It goes both ways, though. Men, don't give your women your leftovers. You done been busy with everybody else out there. Been doing this, been doing that, been helping here, been helping there. But now, Big Daddy wants some attention, but now y'all tired because the freshness of you, the first part of you was given over to so much busyness. Now, me and you can't get together. We can't be together because you're so tired. You have to pick and choose your battles, so to speak. There must be balance in that. I don't want leftovers. You ever went to McDonald's and you could tell they done reheated your fries? How they taste to you?
Terrible.
That's what I'm saying.
The real place, they'll give you 3 fresh ribs and them 2 little ones they put at the bottom.
Ooh.
That's what I'm talking about. That's it.
Them old
Them
3
old.
days
They
and
done-
the days so.
and they just heat
slide, they ease them in on the bottom.
Absolutely.
With fresh sauce.
That's it. Like you can't take.
Carry out, you already down the road.
That's it. I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Don't give him your leftovers.
That's right.
He want fresh ribs.
That's right.
Fresh French fries. You like that, Miss Downey? Vice versa, though.
Yeah.
So you have to watch this stuff that you can't do. You just can't do. If your plate is full, your plate is full. You can't be super mom, super woman, and all of this and still be where you need to be in your relationship with your mate. Sometimes you might have to do something called a stop doing certain things list. You actually make a list of some things I got to stop doing. I got to stop doing because it's taking up too much time. It's pulling away from my relationship with my husband. It's pulling away from my relationship with my wife. Sometimes you have to write stuff down and make it plain. Put it on paper so you can see. Sometimes you have to streamline. Streamline in order to be effective, to be fresh, to be have a effervescent attitude, if you will, or a demeanor with your mate. No leftovers. I might preach that one Sunday. No leftovers. Secondly, give yourself permission to say no. Give yourself permission to say no. Don't have to say yes to everything. You have pastors sometimes that will preach at 8 o'clock, will preach at 10 o'clock, will preach at 2 o'clock, and will preach at 4 o'clock. And then come home at so time. And wifey, and see, I'm telling the truth because I know something. Wifey is feeling like, hey, I want to be intimate with you. I want to be with you. But pastor is so tired because he done preached 4 sermons in one day. Done preached 4 sermons in one day. Now, people might say, you know, well, he's doing the work of the Lord. He's doing the work of the Lord. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He is doing the work of the Lord. When the woman that God gave him, though, she is not satisfied. She is not happy at all. Now, if that's isolated, if it happens just here and there sometimes, that's one thing. But when that thing is consistent, married to the church, everything. I got to go here, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. Yeah. Some of y'all looking at me like, is he actually going there? Oh, yes, I am. And I got a good piece about it too.
And we have friends.
Yeah, we do. I ain't gonna call no names, but I know a bunch of relationship by toe up. I'm talking about talking divorce because from sun up to sundown, just about every day, I got to go here and do this. I got to do this. You know, I got to preach 3 times on this upcoming Saturday, and I got to preach 2 times on Sunday. But the wife and the children are missing dad. So you have to put things in perspective. When we think about Adam and Eve from the very beginning, when God put Adam in the garden, God gave specific instructions on what Adam was to do, what he was to do. He gave him particular instructions. So in taking care of Eve and taking care of the garden and taking care of your household, it's hard for a man or a woman to take care of a household when you taking care of everything else outside of the household. So
That's right.
busyness, you got to watch that. That right there can tap up a marriage. Do less of it. Prioritize. Less complaining, unhealthy ordering. There is a way to fight fair. In any relationship, there will be disagreements. There will be conflict. You cannot be in a relationship without having conflict. You can't be in a relationship with your spouse without there being disagreements. That's going to happen. But there is a healthy way to disagree. There is a way to have conflict where you're not beating up and tearing down the other person. There is unhealthy ordering and there is healthy ordering. If I criticize my wife every time I get mad at her, is that healthy?
No.
If I'm criticizing her or I constantly bring up stuff that I thought we had been forgiven of that happened many years ago, but I keep on bringing it up, that's not healthy. But now, if Miss Vala got an issue with something that's going on with Pastor and she brings it to his attention, there is a way in which Pastor receives that and they dialogue about it. in a healthy manner, though. They're talking to each other and not accusing each other. You want to make a person mad, accuse them of something, and especially they didn't do it. Being accusatory, just, you did this or you didn't do that. Da-da-da-da. You're stirring up a storm. Ask. There's a healthy way to ask. Or, give an example. When you said such and such, this is how it made me feel. I felt like this when you said this. Well, I didn't mean it that way. Let me tell you how I meant it. Versus me saying, yeah, I heard what you said. I know you meant it too. You meant it. You know what? But this is how I feel about it then. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's a difference.
Yeah, it's got to be healthy. You cannot avoid conflict in the marriage. It's going to happen. Let me just read my little notes here and then we're going to close out. Seek to listen. The Bible talks about being swift to listen. You want to listen versus talking all the time. Be swift to listen. Exercise empathy. In other words, put yourself in that person's shoes. Empathy, showing empathy. In other words, I can identify with what you're saying. Admit wrong when you're wrong, man. Oh my job.
Yes.
When a person is wrong and they actually admit it to me, you just spoke volumes. You just really, really grew up big time in my eyes when you're wrong and you can admit, hey, I messed that thing up. I messed up. Hey, babe, that was my fault. I am so sorry. You get much respect versus trying to hide it and act like you didn't do it. Trying to hide it and act like you did not commit the offense. Stay clear of criticizing. You don't want to do that. It puts the person on the defense. We talked about a few moments ago about avoiding accusations. You don't want to be accusatory. This causes people to go into defense mode when you accuse them of something. And they may have even done it. They could have done it. But it's a way to bring it up. In other words, less complaining, and you want to be healthy, not unhealthy, but healthy in whenever you're talking. I ain't gonna say arguing, but whenever you're talking to your mate. So, life resolutions for an awesome marriage. Do more of these things here.
Yeah.
And if you just get to this one and really, really get to this one, everything else will be all right. Amen.
This is good.
Amen. All right, guys.